evening. Welcome to Dining with Dan and Becky at the Glen Ferris Inn. Tonight I have as a guest Jack Foster, and he runs Foster's One Stop. It's a mechanic shop, and he has several hats he wears up there, and he has a wrecker service and does body work and mechanical work on automobiles. And with him is his guest, and could you introduce her?
It's Felicia.
Felicia. And Jack has been in business in Golly Bridge for several years now, and he has a real successful mechanic shop there. He does a lot of work on a lot of vehicles. He works a lot on my vehicles as well, and he doesn't mess up too many of them, but he does a good job, and we appreciate his hard work. And he also does stickers. What other hats do you wear up there?
At a body shop.
Body shop, does a lot of body shop work, repairs vehicles that's been wrecked. And he's a good friend, and we appreciate him coming out on the show tonight. And hopefully Becky will make us a good meal, and let's go back in the kitchen and see what she's fixed up for us this evening, and we'll get started.
Well, hello, I'm Becky, and welcome to Dining with Dan and Becky at the Glen Ferris Inn. And again, welcome to our lovely kitchen in the inn. Tonight, Dan is having a very small dinner party, and the menu that he and I devised consists of a tossed salad, steak Diane, potatoes Anna. I'm going to call this the name menu. Grilled garden vegetables, and a majority of the vegetables are out of his garden. Icebox cheesecake, and I have been working on that recipe for a long time, and I think I've got it. And then we'll have our rolls and our choice of beverage. So if you're looking at this, salad, steak, potatoes, grilled vegetables, cheesecake, which one do you think would take the most time to prepare? Well, yes, it is going to be the cheesecake. Now, this is not a cheesecake that you're going to bake in the oven. This is one that goes in the refrigerator. My granddaughters who come up to the house quite often simply love the Jell-O cheesecake that you can buy the mix for in the store. And I just decided that we're going to make it from scratch, and I've been playing around with it for a while, so I think I've got it. We'll see how this works. Okay. All right, the first thing you need to do is to make a graham cracker cheesecake. Now, the magic of this is that you can use regular graham crackers, you can use cinnamon, you can use chocolate, you could even use the Oreo cookies and make a crust in it, but I would remove the frosting between them first. So we are going to make our crust. It does not have to be baked, and then we will make the cheesecake. So let's look at this. I'm going to heat the butter in the microwave because you have to have your butter hot. So give me just a moment. Okay, we have our butter melted. We have our standard half pan that I use for everything. I use it for cakes. I use it for casseroles. And now I am going to be using it for a refrigerator cheesecake. One of these days I'm going to go to the supplier and I am going to get me 7 or 8 of these. Not that I need them, but they're just so darn handy and versatile. So that was 3 cups of graham crackers crushed. Then I am going to make a well in the center, and I'm going to add our melted margarine. We're going to mix this up. Now your graham crackers have to be wet. It's just that simple. All right, now, once we have that done, now this isn't going to be baked, so you have got to be gloved up. We're going to press the graham crackers down. Until they form a nice crust. Okay, then we're going to stick this in the refrigerator and let it start chilling and setting up while we make the filling. So give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. All right, now our crust is setting up in the refrigerator, so let's go ahead and make the filling. This is a no-bake cheesecake, so the first thing you have to realize is that you cannot put eggs in it. Now what we have here is 24 ounces of cream cheese. So let's put it in our mixer, and we are going to turn this on and let it soften. Okay. Now that that has softened some, I'm going to drizzle in 3/4 cup of sugar. Just about how you do sugar in your meringue. You add it a little bit at a time, let it mix up. A little bit more, let it mix. Right. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. All right, we have this very creamy. All right, I'm going to slowly pull this up to get everything off of the beater. All right, we're just going to take this bowl out, change the beaters, and we're going to whip some heavy cream. So far, guys, you have 24 ounces of cream cheese. You have got 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and we're going to change the bowl, change the beater, and now when you get your heavy whipping cream out, make sure you shake it up, because the more solid part is going to settle to the bottom. In fact, the butter fat will. And you want that to be evenly distributed. Oh boy, I hope I haven't made a mess of this. Opening up milk cartons has always been the bane of my existence. So I'm going to empty it in the mixing bowl, lower the beater, and when you start this out, turn it up on low. Let it have a minute of just mixing. Then we're going to turn it up one more level. What you don't want to do is throw this all over the place and have a mess to clean up on your counter in the kitchen. And as soon as this starts thickening just a little bit more, I'll increase the speed. And so we've got our cream cheese, our whipped cream, and believe it or not, this is all there is to it. Now when we get this ready, we are going to use canned cherry pie filling on the top and make it marvelous. So now this is thickening up some, so I'm going to turn it up. Now I'm splashing. There. Now I thought about using Cool Whip, but I didn't want the taste that that gives. I didn't want to use a boxed whipped topping because I have never used it and I did not know what that would do. So I decided to try for the heavy cream. Let me turn it up one more notch. Okay, it looks like we'll have to give it a minute. Whipping cream is not a fast job. All right, let's scrape down the sides. Now you know the true test of your meringue and your heavy whipping cream is that when you take the bowl, you're finished with it, and you turn it upside down and it doesn't fall. Every time I do that, my heart goes up into my throat because one, I don't want the mess. But look at that. Whoops, it's going, but we're not finished with it yet. So, what we're gonna do is add this slowly. All right, and that's about a third of it, and I'm going to put it on low. I'm just going to barely blend it in. All right, we need to scrape the sides again. And then we're going to add some more. All right, I'm going to scrape the sides of this one. Okay, now I'm going to add the last and we'll be through. All right, let's let this mix for a minute, then I'm going to hand mix it with a spatula, then we'll be ready to put it in the pan. So while this is finishing mixing, let me get our crust out of the refrigerator and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Well, here is our chilled cheesecake crust. If you have enough graham crackers, you can go ahead and extend it up around the sides. And our cheesecake batter needs one more minute. Okay, I'm going to slowly lift this up to get the excess off of the beater. And I hope I don't splash it all over the place. So here we go. All right, we're going to look at this, how creamy. And it smells just like a cheesecake. So we're going to put this in. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to cover the top with our cherries. Well, this is a job, isn't it? Last thing we're going to do, the cherries on top. Now for your fruit, you can use any kind of pie filling. You can use fresh fruit that you have made a glaze for. But the one thing you have to do is set this up in the refrigerator for several hours. I personally would do it overnight. Okay, you ready? All right, canned cherry pie filling, and I'm going to fill it to the top. Well, maybe it'd be faster if I picked it up. And there's just a little bit left, so I'm just going to put it on it. No reason to waste it. Now here we are, 1 cherry icebox cheesecake. Now how cool is this? This is the first time I've used heavy whipping cream in it instead of the other products. So I'm hoping that it is just simply absolutely marvelous. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator because it has to chill several hours, and then it'll be ready for Dan's dinner. All right, let me get this done and I will be right back. And hello, welcome back. We're getting ready to fix our potatoes, and I first found a recipe for this so many years ago that I don't even know when it was. But what it is that you take a potato, 1 per person unless they're small, and you slice them very thin. So we are going to take these and line our pan with them. We're going to make 2 layers. And these can either be pared or not pared, only a West Virginian uses the word peeled. And that is good enough for me, and it's good enough for my mama. So now we've got our first layer. Now we're going to go back and do it over again. Our second layer. Now what we're going to do is make 3 double layers of the potatoes that are sliced. Then we're going to season them, spread them with butter, and then do another layer, and then repeat the process. And we're going to bake it. And really, it's a very nice potato recipe that after you get through the drudgery of slicing this, it is a pleasure to fix. All right, we've got salt. We have got pepper. Now remember, when you're doing this, you want about the proportion of 2 salts to 1 pepper, or how many salts you have, cut it in half for your pepper, and that's a good proportion to use in your cooking. And then I have paprika, which will make it very colorful and pretty, as well as giving it flavor. Then we're going to make our next layer, so we're going to add our potato. Oh, no, we're not. Boy, I just about did it, didn't I? All right, we're going to drizzle it completely with melted butter, and what I have is a little bit better than room temperature if you look at it. All right, so we're going to butter. Now, if you use a pastry brush and brush this on it, it doesn't quite make it thick enough. And if you wait till the end and just put it on the top, then your individual layers will suffer. So let's look at this. Now you have your potatoes, your seasoning, and your butter. So we're going to add our next layer of potatoes and repeat the seasoning and the butter. We'll do this 2 more times. I hope you guys try potatoes, Anna, at your house. It's not a difficult recipe to remember, and I think that you will find that it is very good. So here we go. Now remember, each layer has 2 layers of potatoes, almost like lasagna. I put 2 layers of lasagna noodles down per layer when I'm making lasagna. When I finish with the lasagna, I have 7 layers. When we finish with this, we're going to have 9 layers if you count your seasoning as a layer. All right, so that's 1 layer of potatoes. Let's start our second. Now, when I was young and made these, I was very careful, very particular about the size, how thick I cut them, and the patterns. I even made them where they overlapped. I've made them several times since then, and it's just not that complicated. So, second layer is almost done. And I think after this, we're only down to 4 things. We're going to do a salad, which is already made. We're going to do our cheesecake, which is already made. We are going to do our potato Anna. So all that we have left are the grilled vegetables and now watch out that salt, because some people can't have too much. You do salt first, you're going to do pepper second, and this is restaurant ground pepper or coarsely ground pepper. And then we're going to do our paprika to give it just a little bit of a taste and to make it very pretty. And then we're going to put our second layer of butter down. So let's get that done. Okay, last layer of potatoes. Okay, the third layer gets a little bit tedious, but that's all right. We've almost got her. And after we finish this, we're going to cover it with foil, pop it in the oven, let it bake for about 30-35 minutes. Then we're going to take the foil off and let it get golden brown. All right, I'm going to put 1 more layer on it because I have a lot of potatoes left. I should have put these in a larger dish. Okay, almost finished. Just be patient a little bit longer. Bruce, could I have some foil, please? Foil? Uh-huh. All right, this is it. Just 5 or 6 more. All right, then we're going to do our seasonings. We're going to do our salt, our pepper, and our paprika, And does anyone remember what comes next? Yes, our butter. So we're going to drizzle butter across the top. And let's go ahead and just use it all. Okay. All right, foil, shiny side down, because it'll reflect the heat back into the pan. We're going to put it in the oven at 350 for 30 to 35 minutes, then take the foil off and let it brown in the oven. So let's get that done. All right, set the timer. I don't want to be burning anything today, so Dan thinks I need cooking lessons. So, all right, let me clean up my mess, guys, and then we will get started on the steaks, and then all we'll have left are our garden vegetables. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, welcome back. I have been prepping the steaks. We're going to have steak Diane. Now, what we're doing is using a nice ribeye, boneless. Notice the marbling, and that should guarantee it being fairly tender. Now, for steak Diane, what you're going to do is take powdered mustard, sprinkle it on it, rub it in. Don't want to do too much because not everyone appreciates that taste. And then on the other side, then we're going to brush it with molten butter. And that is just a perfect consistency to do this. It is liquidy enough to where you can actually brush it on, but it's thick enough to where it's going to stay. All right, so let's go ahead and just get all of these done. The batter. Now we are going to pepper these when we get ready to grill them. Now that is going to be a tender steak. Look at all that. All right, batter it. All right, we're only going to do 2 or 3 of these more. Bruce said that he would finish them for me and then grill them off. Now what we're going to do, we're going to grill them on our flat top grill. Then we are going to take everyone's order to see if they want them rare, medium, or well. Or medium rare, that's mine. And then we will be okay with this. So let's do one more. And then I'm going to pass these to Bruce so he can get those cooking on the flat top, because I can't bring it over here, guys, it's too big. And then we're going to make the sauce. Okay. All right, let me give these to Bruce, and I'll show you one when they're almost done. But let's get started on the Diane sauce. I will be right back. All right, welcome back. We're ready to fix the Diane sauce that we will serve on the side so that anyone who wants it can add it to their steak. So what we're going to do is melt butter. I just hate using these little pans, but that's all right. And we're going to be adding onions to it. Now these are green onions out of Danny's garden. He has talked about his garden on previous shows. He's very proud of it. He's had the grandkids help plant, help stake tomatoes, you name it, and he's done it. So we're going to cook these. And as soon as that gets hot, we will be adding mushrooms, lemon juice, and Worcestershire sauce. So we're just going to let these onions wilt down a little bit. I guess I'm going to be cooking garden vegetables a lot this summer with all of his vegetables. And as soon as this gets just about half of the volume, I'm going to add the mushrooms in. All right, that's about it. So we will add a mushroom, and I sliced one mushroom per steak. Now we're going to let that cook. Whoops, I'm dragging it off of the fire. And as soon as these soften a little bit, then I will add the Worcestershire sauce and the lemon juice. Let it simmer a minute or two, and then we are done except for these garden vegetables. So. Mushrooms are one of our foods that's in the fungus family, and my daughters dearly love them, my grandkids love them, and Dan loves them. One of these days, my goal in life is to grow mushrooms in the basement. I just haven't been able to figure out how I can do it without getting that musty smell in the house, but maybe I could talk Dan into building me something. I think it isn't unreasonable to ask him to dig me a cave in the mountainside and me grow them there. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn this up, and I am going to add the lemon juice, and I'm going to stir it up. This is the day for lemon juice. And then I'm going to add the Worcestershire sauce. Stir it up. Oh, look at that. That is just making a darling little topping for your meat. Okay, it needs to come to a boil, and then I'm going to give it to Bruce, and he's going to put it on the back burner and let it simmer until it's time to serve dinner. How nice is that? Oh, some of my favorite smells in the world. All right, everything is bubbling, so let me give this to Bruce, and we will start the last dish for the night, and then we will go visit Dan and his guests and see what they're up to. So give me a minute, and I'll be right back to finish it. Welcome back. Let's prepare our last side dish for tonight's dinner. We're going to make grilled garden vegetables, and everything here is out of Dan's garden except the mushrooms, the cauliflower, and the broccoli. And don't tell me that that's all there is, because, you know, it's still early in the growing season. I have squash from his garden, green peppers from his garden, green onions from the garden. So it's about half and half. As the season gets further along, I'll have more and more. All right, we're going to first heat up our skillet. And we are going to make a combination of melted butter. Well, I hope I don't spill that. All right. and not too much. Then, I'm sorry, that was the olive oil blend. And then our butter. Now what we're going to do is par cook this, and then we're going to take everything out when it's almost ready, and at that point, if it needs any more cooking, we'll grill it on the flat top. Now what I want to do is add salt, and please don't add it to your vegetables, add it to your oils. Pepper. I love pepper, I guess, as all of you know. You know black pepper is really good for you. And garlic powder. All right, now what I'm going to do here is let all of this dissolve as much as possible, because now your black pepper will not dissolve, but your garlic will and your salt will. You want this to just barely have a garlic taste. And it smells just barely like it. Very good. That was our goal. Now, for our vegetables, we're going to put them in order of the ones that need to cook the longest. Out of all of these, I would say our cauliflower needs to be cooked longer than anything else. Your butter is bubbling. Now remember, you do not want to put anything in this skillet unless your oil or whatever you're doing is hot. So we're going to add the cauliflower and saute it. Now we're not going to saute too much because we're still going to do some fancy cooking to it. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to add will be the green peppers, because I believe, may not be true, but I believe that the green peppers need to cook longer than the onions. And it's in a case of your dressing. What do you cook the longest? Your onions or your celery? Well, I don't know. I've never solved that one. So what I do, I just get me a skillet and put some butter in it and saute them both together and cross my fingers. But I know that there is a correct order for it. All right, I'm going to add the peppers, and those were out of Dan's garden. All right. Then I am going to add the mushrooms. Oh, know what that is? Well, yeah. Let me turn it off. All right, let's get these potatoes out and check them. When you're cooking, it is so easy to forget that you have something in the oven because you're busy doing other things that may be burning and may not be. Before I put this back in, let me stir our cauliflowers, peppers, and mushrooms one more time. Now all of these are absorbing the salt, the garlic, the butter, the olive oil, and it should come out to where we have a very nice tasting side dish. Oh, just look at this. All right, look at this, guys. You have all that melted butter. You have got the paprika on top of your potatoes to make them have a real pretty look, and they look to be just about done. So what we're going to do is put them in the oven for 10 minutes and let them brown on us. So let me get them back in. And I'm going to set the timer for 10, and then we may have to set it for 5 more. It's at 10 to 15 minutes, you never know. All right. All right, your cauliflower is coming along nice. Whoops, no one wanted that one. Ouch. I'm going to add our onions. Now those green onions were out of Dan's garden. And lastly, I'm going to add broccoli, or next to lastly, because it doesn't take as much time. And we're going to have a real colorful, very pretty, very nice vegetable side. Okay, and lastly, squash. And this was also out of Dan's garden. He has so many squash plants that I don't know how we'll ever eat it all. I have some good recipes for squash casserole, squash souffle, stuffed squash, so baked squash. So we'll just see what I can come up with. All right. All right, we're going to let that sit there for a minute and continue cooking while I clean up the mess. And I think I'm going to add some more olive oil. Your broccoli's turning colors. I do not cook it much longer after it turns colors because I hate it when it starts getting dark and it gets that funny smell to it that just permeates your whole house. I just don't care for it. All right, so let me get these into the dishwashing room and I will be right back. You guys go get a cup of coffee while we finish up. Okay guys, now look at this beautiful dish. You have fresh summer vegetables from Dan's garden and of course store-bought broccoli and cauliflower, but at least it's fresh. And it is all but done. And there goes our buzzer, so I think we are finished for the day. Let me turn it off. So I will see you out in the dining room, and we will meet Dan and his guests. So be with you in just a moment.
All right, Becky, we've been back in the kitchen and looked, and I didn't get to see what all you had cooked for us.
Oh, it's top secret menu
Top
tonight.
secret
Top
menu.
secret
you
menu.
Had it covered with a, what do you call that?
Aluminum
Cloche?
foil? Oh, cloche.
Oh my goodness. we've
I
got
do have
cloche.
cloches.
Okay, all right, tell us what we're
Okay,
having.
we're going to have a tall salad,
Okay,
and then we're going to have steak Diane.
steak Diane. Did Diane make it, or?
No, they just call it steak Diane.
Okay, well, we'll
That's
figure
not
that
an
out
easy
later after we
recipe
eat
to
it.
find, okay?
Okay.
And then we're going to do potatoes Anna. I'm calling this my named menu
Name them.
because everything has a name.
Potatoes?
Potatoes Anna.
Anna, okay.
All right.
All right,
And then
let's-
we're doing grilled garden vegetables, and most of them are from your garden.
Out of my garden, that's great.
That's right. The squash, the peppers, the green onions. There's one other thing, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't get the chance to tell Jack about my $5,000 garden that I have, so these are real expensive vegetables that we're going to eat this evening. Okay.
Yeah, but over time, your investment will take care of itself because I know that once you retire, you're going to open up a garden stand on
Oh,
Route
yeah,
60.
Right. I doubt that too. Well, what are we having for dessert?
A recipe I've been working on and thinking about for quite a few years. It is cherry icebox cheesecake.
Okay.
You remember when Andrea brings up her little girls? Every now and then I get that Jell-O boxed refrigerator cheesecake mix, and
Yeah.
we make our own strawberry glaze and do that.
Okay.
I just decided that I'd rather we do it from scratch.
Okay, so is it strawberry?
No, it's cherry.
It's cherry. Okay.
Right.
So you had me thrown there for a second.
Well, but they always wanted to do strawberry cheesecake, so I always did that. I made a glaze for them, and they put their strawberries on it.
Well, hopefully Jack likes strawberries. No.
It's cherries. Don't get confused, Dan.
You've
It's cherries.
got me confused here. All right, well, you're starving us to death here. Let's have a salad.
Okay.
Have a salad now.
Yes, we are.
All right, let's have it.
All right. Salads are good for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Alyssa.
But it looks like
Boy.
everything is pretty fresh looking.
Everything is fresh looking.
Okay.
It has my leftover broccoli and cauliflower in it because I love them in a salad.
Oh, I see.
And the only thing it doesn't have in it that I used in the vegetables was the green onions. No, the squash. This might have green onions.
Does it have the cucumbers in it from the garden?
It sure does.
Okay.
And
That's
the green
those little-
peppers.
That's those little cucumbers I was talking about there.
They're British, English. Now, we haven't had a good tossed salad in quite a few weeks here because I've been doing weird stuff, but they were all good. We did Felicia, we did a black bean salad and a corn salad, a white choupee corn salad, and a cornbread salad. So this is a welcome change.
Well, everything seems to be fresh and tastes pretty good.
It's been a long time since I could eat a whole salad unless I was eating it as a complete meal.
Salad. How about you, Becky? You ready for dinner?
Yeah, well, I'm ready for
Ready
dinner,
for
but
the
I can
entree?
surely eat some more salad too.
Well, I've eaten all that salad I can eat now.
What I am really ready for is that cherry cheesecake.
Okay. All right. Well, we're ready for the next course.
We are, and I think you'll be very pleased with it.
Well, I hope so. Because by now I'm already hungry. Okay. So what's in this little bowl?
That's your Diane sauce.
Diane sauce. So I put that on my steak?
Yes, you do. If
Okay.
you like mushrooms.
Well, of course I like mushrooms. Is it what all's in it?
It has onions, mushrooms, Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, it looks
Lemon
like it
juice.
has butter or something.
It does have butter.
Okay. And so what do we have for the sides here?
That is your grilled garden vegetables.
Grilled? Are
Yep.
they in butter?
A combination of butter and olive oil.
I see. Okay. I'm going to try the squash first.
Okay, I'm going to try the potatoes, Anna. Jack, how is that steak tasting?
Good, very good.
Well, it's the steak Diane calls for it to be rubbed in powdered mustard and pepper, and then brushed with butter, and then grilled.
It's good.
So there's a lot of steps to it. I was afraid you guys might not like it because of the mustard.
I like the mustard on it. The sauce is a little different. It's got, must have lemon in it.
It does have a touch of lemon in it. And you had lemon yesterday in your shrimp scampi.
That's right. That's right. Had lemon yesterday.
Felicia, some of our grandchildren are here visiting us throughout the summer, and Connor made shrimp scampi for our dinner for everyone. Did a good job.
Well, Jack, while you're cutting up your steak here, you used to do a lot of racing, mechanic work with the Oxford welding team, and you did some auto racing and got the cars ready to race and all that. Are you going to get back into that?
I'm building one, but I don't know how far I'm going to take it.
I see.
Don't have much time.
Did you actually do the racing when you did it, or did you just do the mechanical work?
I drove my own car for probably 20 years, and then I just started crew chiefing for Burton.
I see. So Burton Oxford has Oxford Welding, and they do mining equipment and that kind of stuff. And of course, you worked in the mines first, and then you became a mechanic and
Right.
opened up your own business. And you've been very successful up there. And I know I've paid you millions of dollars.
I like your money.
I have about 25 to 30 vehicles, and you maintenance most of them, but at least 90% of my maintenance work on my automobiles, and I know you do a good job, and we appreciate your good work, we and the Glen Ferris Inn here, we like to deal with local people so that everybody kind of works together and keeps the money rolling around in the community. And we appreciate your all's good work.
Thank you.
Well, Felicia, you like that steak? Good. I would have had to got you when you had your mouth full. It's the way it works on a cooking show.
I don't know. I like the potatoes, Anna.
I like it all.
Well, thank you, Jack.
My potatoes are a little cool. I
So
think
are
what
mine.
happened, but our producer took so much time looking for a battery
That happens.
that my potatoes got cold. But they're still good.
They are still good. Your squash is good. I haven't tasted a green pepper yet.
Now, what's the difference in just a regular fried potatoes of these? What?
Well, we slice these thin, and you
Uh-huh.
can peel them or leave the peeling on. Since they were going to be so thin sliced, we decided to do that. And then you put 2 layers of potatoes, your seasonings, and then cover them with butter. Then 2 layers of potatoes, seasonings, butter, 2 layers of potatoes, seasoning, butter, and then you bake them.
I see. So they're baked potatoes.
More or less. There's
What
not
did you call them again?
potatoes, Anna.
Potatoes Anna.
I think they need a little bit of salt.
No, mine's fine. I don't need any salt on mine. How about you, Jack?
That's good.
It's good. The steak's good. I can't remember all these names. This is Diana and Anna.
Yeah, steak, Diane, and potatoes, Anna.
Boy, I'm telling you, and this is a toothpick.
We're sure about that.
I don't think that piece of broccoli of mine got grilled too much. And your vegetables are grilled in butter mixed with olive oil blend, and then I dissolved salt and garlic powder in it, and then I put pepper in it, and then we cooked them in it, and then I had Bruce grill them on the flat top.
Well, everything's real tasty. The grilled
You want
cauliflower and
Want my mushroom?
no, I don't want your mushroom, but I like the mushrooms.
Those vegetables are just the way I like them cooked, in between al dente and
Yeah, they're real
and
tender.
done.
Of course, they're right out of my garden. They couldn't be any more tender.
I know that, Danny.
Not $5,000 vegetables that we're eating here this evening.
We could buy a lot of Kroger produce for that.
I know. And it all started from this plant here. Here she comes with the
I cut them kind of large.
Yes, she did. But Jack's not complaining.
No.
Okay, well, let's try this this dessert here and see how it goes.
We'll see if Tommy's ready for us.
Well, it better be ready, because I'm getting ready to eat.
Okay, I'm going to watch. If you fall over and die, I'm not taking a bite.
Well, it's pretty good.
Very good.
Now, does this have an Ann or a Diane or a
No,
So
just
what
icebox.
icebox? Icebox Why icebox?
Because it goes in the refrigerator. In olden days, refrigerators were called ice boxes.
Oh, okay.
So this
So they
is
made these and put them in the ice box to cool off the cheese. I see. Okay.
well, to set up the cheese and the heavy cream.
Well, it's very good.
It was good.
I think I'd like to have this with a hot cup of tea.
A good cup of coffee would be good as well. Well, Jack, is that pretty good?
Very good.
Do you like the graham cracker crumb? I guess
Crust.
Crust.
Good.
Yeah.
Very
How
good.
about you, Alicia? Or
Felicia.
Alicia?
Boy, I could eat this all day, except it'd make me really be too full and I'd pay for it later.
Okay.
I should have cut these in half. It's just too rich.
Well, Becky, it looks like you've done it again. You've done another great meal for me and our guest, and I appreciate what you do for me, and you did a really good job this time. The steak was great, the salad was good and fresh. And,
Nothing was burnt.
no burning.
No burning this time.
Yeah. Well, you've done a really good job, and
Well, thank you.
My guest and I appreciate it, and I guess I'll keep you for a couple more weeks and
Got a minimum 2.
2 weeks. Yep, it's always conditional on how good the meal is.
That's true.
Well, Jack, I'm glad that you got to come and join us, you and your friend, and we hope that you get to come back again and eat again later. And I appreciate you. You do a great job on your mechanic work and your body work and all those things that you do up there at your business. And we appreciate you, and we'd like for you to come and join us here at the end. Well, folks, thank you for watching Glen Ferris Inn with Dan and Becky at the Glen Ferris Inn. See ya.
See you next time. Have
See
a
ya.
good one.